starts, this whole issue, I feel like, genuinely, I feel it starts in the home. And I feel like the generational trauma that we gotta stop. Our kids our age, my siblings, I think, just, millennials or whatever, like, we should all be trying to stop this trauma because we know the truth.
Yes.
And we know that fighting against each other is not what's gonna help us out, It's
Right.
trying to point fingers isn't gonna help us out.
Right.
And trying to love each other, like my dad was trying to say, love is really what's gonna bring us all together. It's cliche, but it's the truth.
It's the truth. Thank you. Thank you. She said they don't want to hear us speak, but you just heard the queen speak. Thank you, London. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
All the interactions, the Zoom calls, and the casting shorts that I've seen of you, it was just like, this guy is amazing.
Thank you.
I said it because of Jake.
And here's why. You had to tap into some energy to bring this character forth. And my question to you is, what did that feel like? Did it affect you? Did it cause you to have some questions or conversations? Just, let us know in your own words, Jay.
I would definitely say that, I'll be honest, it was a little bit challenging in the aspect of it. It was a character that was just so, I guess, on one end of the spectrum where he saw no other way out and saw no other perspective than to just like, he just makes all generalizations, just hates this, obviously. And like London said previously, it like starts, what is it? It starts in the home is what you said. I feel like if you have a really like a rough upbringing, then it can definitely like skew you in a way that I guess to make these generalizations and to I guess just not really understand the world at its full value. And so I kind of had to, I guess for my character, is understand what someone who lives like that would see the world from their perspective. Especially, I would have to just tap into like these like generalizations that were truly just nasty and horrible, but it had to be done for the character. And I guess when I came out of it, it really did make me question the polarization that's like within society today.
Absolutely.
And just all the sources that could create us have one perspective and say one stance, and everyone is, they're talking at each other, not talking with each other, especially on controversial issues. Even if the news channels today, they're not unbiased news, they're trying to skew you in one perspective or the other. They're entertainment sources.
Absolutely.
And it made me really question, really like reanalyze just everything I see on a day-to-day basis. I mean, you see it even on like entertainment platforms such as TikTok. You have people in comment sections just having just verbal like diarrhea, just going at each other because they're talking at each other. They're not getting anywhere with their conversations because they're just yelling. And it really just opened my eyes up to, I guess, the conversations that we need to have in our society and like the progression, just talking with each other and figuring out the issues and solving them rather than just yelling at one another and continuing to be polarized.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, give it up for Jay. I commend you for making the sacrifice that you made to delve into this. Last but not least, Mr. Barry.
Yes, sir.
Going right behind what Jake just said, you tapped into some taboo-ish topics. You made some references to some, what would seem like some very, very, very dangerous rhetoric. Why did you do that? And what was your point for doing that?
Thanks for that question. It's a good question. So, I had a conversation with somebody that told me, kind of warned me that, hey, this thing, when you show it, it's going to look incredibly left-leaning, right? You know, you really don't want to offend people. We've got more stuff to do. It's a powerful project. We want to make sure we don't bore people off. So, you know, the whole thing is that Trump isn't even in office anymore. Why show him? Literally because you asked me that question, right? If one dude, and it's not him, it's not his fault, that's an asinine idea. I'm not a Trump guy, like that's not even close to real. But the facts don't change because you like him or don't like him. That guy didn't do anything except make an ugly underbelly of America think it's okay to be ugly. But the issue there is that whole side thing is the problem. When we're on one side and I can't see what you're saying just because you're on the other side, then we are not having a conversation, just like Jake was talking about. We're so polarized that we can't move because we're constantly trying to keep each other from going. The school shooting thing isn't a left item. It's not a right item. It's a human item. Like, these are kids we're talking about. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Have any of y'all ever seen Zoolander? Like, I don't understand how literally the phrase kids dying in schools doesn't stop people in their tracks. I don't care who you support. I don't care what side of fence you're on. I don't care that there's a fence. That's not the issue. That's escaping the issue. That's ignoring the issue. It's also that, speaking politically, the left side is difficult to offend. Right? You talk about people on the left all the time and, you know, they're waving their hand and trying to take the higher road or just cower out. The left side is a struggle for me. But when you hit the right side, they're going to do something. Literally do something. There's all kinds of people that have been taken down because they said the wrong thing. One at that attorney, Michael Avenatti, dude's in jail now because he rubbed them the wrong way. They fought to do something to him. That happened with the left. We need somebody to fight. And I don't care who I pick to fight with. I care that the fight happens for our children. And if I need to hit they say that the dog that gets hit barks, right? I need some barking to happen. So I'm gonna hit the one that'll bark. And if you got a problem, if you stand up and fight for your side of you not liking what I'm saying, we will start a conversation. And the conversation needs to be had because it's at least the first step to protecting our children, right? But literally that case that we are so polarized that just mentioning a name divides people. You either are with me, depending on what I'm saying, and you're against me, depending on what I'm saying. And God, this world is so life, it's so existence, it's so plentiful, it's so vast. For me to mention one thing and put you on the opposite side of the tracks from me is preposterous. It's nonsense. It is the way that I regard us all, collectively, socially, as a society, as children. Mature people don't act like that. We have a little more sense than that. We understand that the bigger things require us to be a little tough, right? Our film didn't really embody COVID in any real way. But COVID is one of those examples for me. For me, looking at the world objectively, or looking at the country objectively, it showed me how childish we are. How many different ways we made a problem from putting a damn mask on, right? Dude, put a mask on, save everybody's life, we'll be out of this. No, my rights, my freedoms. Dude, put a mask on. It's not a calculus, right? Do it for a minute. If it'll save somebody, do it. It's bigger than you. And that's the problem we have with understanding things. It's bigger than us. And this situation is literally that. It's bigger than me. It has nothing to do with my children and me. It has everything to do with my children and me and every other human being who lives. It's larger than me. Every child that lives and breathes, every human being that comes to life needs to be protected. They need to be free to grow and develop. Children in the 5th grade doing shooter drills, all of a sudden understand that they are mortal and they can die in the 5th grade. How brave can you be in the 5th grade when you're afraid of dying? When literally, and when I was in the 5th grade, I couldn't ponder dying. I didn't see that kind of terminality. I didn't see my mortality, right? I was stupid enough to jump off of garages and other kind of crap because I didn't understand. I could die landing on my ankle or something, right? Fall on my neck. I didn't understand that because it wasn't time for me to. I needed to be brave. I needed to grow. I needed to develop. And I wasn't worried about someone coming into my school shooting me because in the 5th grade, everything's personal. Everything's personal. If you got a shooter drill where you got to hide from somebody to kill somebody, they're coming to kill you. You don't quite figure